think I figured out the definition of art, or at least my definition of art. And this came about as the end result of a long thought process that has been brewing in my brain since season 1. We had that video where I used AI to generate an image of a werewolf, just a generic looking werewolf, and I put that in on one half of the thumbnail. And Philip called it out, and we had this whole conversation about what are the goods and bads of AI and how it should and should not be used, and should it be used at all on this channel. But at the end of that conversation, something was still nagging at me. There was an unfinished piece to the thought that was still in the back of my brain that wasn't I wasn't quite satisfied with. I've always considered myself to be very dedicated to creativity and originality, and I've always considered it to be a core piece of this channel. I used to be obsessed with originality to the point that I did not want to reference other channels or make references to popular media like Star Wars or memes. I didn't want to reference anyone else's work at all. In the early parts of this channel, that's where my head was at. And it was really bothering me that I was using royalty-free music and not creating my own music. Artistic integrity has always been really important to me. So why was it not bothering me in my gut that I was using AI to generate this werewolf image? And I kept saying like, oh, I just needed a generic werewolf. All I needed was a generic werewolf. It didn't need to look, any particular interesting artistic way. I just needed the world's most generic werewolf face to put on this thumbnail, and that's all I need. Why was that not bothering me? And I couldn't quite figure out why that wasn't bothering me and why that wasn't bothering my artistic instincts. I couldn't answer that question. But ladies and gentlemen, I have finally figured it out. I like to watch a lot of interviews of people who are successful on YouTube, whatever successful means. Their channels are big, they're making money, they're successfully doing what they're trying to do, whatever that is. So why? Why is it working? What is making it work? And what makes them tick? Like what's going on in their brains? What are they actually trying to do? Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber of all time, basically, and he has that high he has a video style that's highly known for how it manipulates your attention. And then there's this guy named Mr. Who's the Boss, which I would consider to be the Mr. Beast of tech YouTubers, and he kind of has the same style. They have both said in interviews that they're all about the views. Their entire goal on YouTube is to get more views. They look at that number like it is a high score, and they are playing this game with the entire sole goal of beating their high score. Again and again and again, the next video needs to be higher view count than the last video. Mr. Beast has also said that he doesn't really keep a lot of money for himself, for his lifestyle. I don't know how big his house is, but he says that every penny he makes basically goes back into making a bigger next video, because all he cares about is getting more views than the last video. So they do care about money because they can use that money to make a more engaging video and get more views. But their end goal is those views, it's that view count. And then there are definitely a lot of people who are out there for the money. The money is their high score. It's their main goal. There are a lot of people in the past 10, 15 years who have recognized, oh, there's a lot of money to be made on that platform. Let me make a channel. How can I optimize this channel to rake in as much money as possible? The question at the core of their method is, what kind of videos do I need to make in order to make the most money? So those people do care about views, but not because that's their end goal. Their end goal is money, and views help them get the money. And then you've got people who they just want to make the best video. So you've got these guys that they want to make better videos, and they want to make more money because that will help them get more views, which is their end goal. And then you've got people who they want to make a better video because it will help them get more views, which will help them get more money, and that's their end goal. And then you've got people who just want to make the best video, and they want more views so that they can make more money so that they can make a better video next time. So I thought about this way of looking at it, and I started asking the question, what is my goal? The easy answer is my goal is to make the best video, but what is it that makes it a good video? And then there are a lot of things I do and I'm highly motivated to do that aren't necessarily actually making it a better video or impacting the video itself at all. So why am I doing all this? What is the goal here? What am I trying to accomplish on YouTube at all? Why am I here? What is my end goal? I think most of us have seen the famous urinal, right? There's this artist that took a urinal off the wall, turned it on its side, and decided this is art, and they put it in a museum. So the big question that is often asked is this art? What is art? What makes something art? Does art have to be beautiful? Does it have to have a specific meaning? Is the fact that the artist turned it on its side and looked at it and thought, yeah, that looks artistic, does that make it art? Do you have to put a lot of work into it in order for it to be art? Is it about the artist's intention when they created or when they put it on display? Or is it more about beauty is in the eye of the beholder? Is it about the perception of the person looking at it? Is that what makes it art? So as I was trying to answer the question, what is my end goal? What am I trying to accomplish with everything that I'm doing? I figured it out. Art is something that is designed to give its audience an emotional experience. The artist might have a specific emotional experience that they want you to have, like joy or fear or sadness or curiosity or motivation. Or their goal might be more broad than that. They might just want you to feel something and they don't really care what it is. Maybe they want to bring out something that's already in you. And then what makes it good art or bad art is how effective it is at giving the intended audience the intended experience. If an artist does something super low effort, like takes a urinal off of a wall, turns it on its side, and their intention is to get you thinking, and people walk up to this in a museum and they start having whole conversations about what is art, then that's good art. If an artist spends an entire year tweaking this painting and you walk up to it and you feel nothing, or you don't feel what the artist was trying to make you feel, then it's bad art. On the other hand, if an artist paints this painting and they want you to experience this sense of wonder, and you walk up to it and you think, this one just kind of makes me sad. But then you bring your friend over and you're like, look at this painting. Doesn't this make you feel sad? And then your friend feels sad looking at it. I think that makes you a good artist because you intended to make your friend experience sadness by looking at this painting and the way that you told them to look at it. You just created art by combining this image that you found with the words that you prefaced it with and the way that you led them into looking at it. So circling back to me, to my channel, to my goals, my end goal, it's not views, it's not money, it's not to just vaguely be artistic. My goal, my end goal, the goal that motivates me every day, the goal that I'm chasing every time I pick up the camera, is to give my audience a specific emotional experience. I'm not going to try too hard right now to describe to you what that is. It's kind of beside the point. But in my head, I can picture that emotional experience. I can picture what I want you to feel like. The main part of it is inspired. I want you to feel inspired. There's a lot more to it. There's a very specific feeling in my head that I have experienced before, and I want to make you experience that feeling. And that's my goal. That is my end goal with everything that I'm doing. So connecting that back to what we were talking about before, I do want views, and I want them for 3 reasons. 1, more views means I am successfully giving more people that experience. 2, more views means I have more potential to make money, which means more equipment and more time. So if I can make more videos and if I can make better videos, then I have a lot more control over the experience that I am delivering to you. It's like if you were to put a blindfold on me and then put a spoonful of food in my mouth and then tell me your goal is now to make as many people as possible taste exactly what you just tasted. Well, the more money I have, the more successful I can be at doing that, because I can get a better kitchen, I can get the exact ingredients that I want, and I can have the time to figure out what combination of ingredients and processes makes something taste this way. And with more time, I can also create more servings of this dish. And 3, having a bigger audience actually enhances the experience. The audience is part of the art. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but the fact that it rhymes does mean that it's true. This is the key. This is the real interesting takeaway that I've been trying to get to this whole time. This is what I want you to understand. The art that I am trying to create is not videos. The goal of art is to get you to have this experience. Creating videos is just one part of how I influence what's going on in your brain that makes you experience that. For a lot of the main videos that I'm making, audience participation is a key part of what makes you feel that emotional experience that I'm going for. Another piece is the timing. The anticipation that there's another video coming soon, the excitement of, oh, there was a cliffhanger, the next part comes out next week, I'm going to be thinking about that, I can't wait for Sunday. Releasing a video and then releasing the next video a month apart versus releasing a video and then releasing part 2 the next week are two vastly different experiences. I am an artist, and the art that I'm creating is not videos. The piece of art that I'm creating is everything that happens that causes you to have the emotional experience that I'm shooting for. So the video is part of the art. The way the video is delivered is part of the art. The timing in which the video is delivered is part of the art. The audience size and the community interactions that you have with the audience and the audience participation with the video is part of the piece of artwork that I create on an ongoing basis. I'm sitting here editing this and I feel like I missed a key piece, and I want to make sure I emphasize this. The experience that I'm trying to create is not on a video by video basis. Yes, each video has a different tone and each video has a different sense of humor and different thing that I want you to feel, but each video is a piece in an ongoing experience that I build over time. There are little experiences that I create for you in each video, but the main experience that I am burning to create as an artist is the one that takes place over years as you follow this channel and see step by step what comes out and how it changes over time and how it sets itself up and then pays itself off. The experience that I'm trying to create is an ongoing living experience. It is not one that you go to, experience, and then leave. It is one that you live in and that continues to evolve over the years as you evolve with it. The way that you receive today's video is largely influenced by the expectations and understandings that have been set by 100 videos that came before. And as you take in all of these things together at the right time, it makes you feel what I want you to feel. Sometimes it doesn't, but I'm trying. And sometimes I get that comment where somebody says exactly the right thing, and I'm like, that person got it. They felt what I was trying to make them feel. I just did good art. So bringing all this back to the AI thumbnail of season 1. The video is shot. I'm sitting there editing. And I'm thinking about the experience that I want you to feel. I'm like, what do I want the audience to feel, and how am I going to get them there? So I'm making editing choices. I'm like, let's remove this part and let's emphasize this part. Let's put this music in. I want them to feel this, and then I want them to feel this way, and then I want them to be thinking about this before we go look at that. And then all of this is going to set up how we're going to receive the next video and how we're going to feel about that. So I'm going through this step by step, and I'm thinking, as you're headed into the video, I want you thinking about werewolves. I need a title and a thumbnail image that are going to make you think about werewolves and set you up with the expectation this video has something to do with werewolves, but I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter what the werewolf looks like. I just need you thinking about werewolves and asking the question, what does this video have to do with werewolves? But I was wrong. I thought that what I wanted you to think and experience had very little to do with how the werewolf was rendered. And I severely underestimated how much seeing something that your brain analyzes and goes, hey, that's AI, how much that would distract you from the track that I was trying to put you on. The fact that you come into this channel already associating it with creativity and originality sets you up for the experience that I want you to have. And seeing something that doesn't line up with that, even though it's not a video about art, is jarring in a way that I did not think about at the time. And then there are a lot of other, lots of other reasons not to use AI. But as far as the purpose of art and everything, I feel like this was a really interesting discussion. Tell me what you think. I want to know, think about your art. Most of the people in my audience have some kind of art that they create, some kind of creative endeavor. I want to see you analyze your art through the lens that I just gave you and tell me how that plays out. What is your end goal? What is the experience you're trying to cause people to have? And what are the things you do outside of the main medium that you're using to give people that emotional experience? Now, sometimes you are going to see things on this channel, like titles and thumbnails that are designed to attract clicks or that imitate popular channels, because when I create those titles and those thumbnails, I am weighing their potential to enhance the experience that I'm trying to give you and to get you closer to that experience. Sometimes, as far as I can tell, the title and the thumbnail have very little impact on how you're going to receive the video, but they have a lot of potential impact to bring in more people, increase the number of views, which will indirectly improve my ability to give you the experience later. So I have to decide, should I optimize this title and thumbnail to introduce the video and get you thinking about what I want you thinking about before you watch it in order to give you the best experience now? Or should I optimize that title and thumbnail to bring in more people, grow the channel, potentially grow some income, so that I'm able to give you a much stronger experience later? Titles and thumbnails are something that I can usually afford to sacrifice without severely hurting today's experience. But obviously, sometimes I'm wrong about that. So please continue to hold me accountable, and thank you for doing that.